Hello everyone, let me introduce myself. My name is M.Ghilang Setiawan Has. My ID student is 24030500065. Today I'm taking you on the journey to the tiny island with a massive legacy. We are visiting Penyengat Island. Located just off the coast of Tanjung Pinang, it's often called the cradle of Malay culture, and as we see today, it's much more than just beautiful destination. It is the soul of the Riau Island. Okay, move to the next slide. You see historical foundation. To understand the Riau Island, we have to look at the history of the specific rock in the ocean. This wasn't just fishing village, it was sovereignty stronghold and the administrative heart of the Johor Riau Lingga Empire. Okay, move to the next slide is introduction to the Penyengat. Penyengat is small, only but 2 square kilometers, but its strategic location made it a scarred geometry. For Malay world, in the 18th century, it became the secondary seat of power, a place where the air was thick with the sand of the sea and the thousands of scholars debating. Okay, move to the next is the Dowry Island. Here is one of my favorite facts. In the 1803, Sultan Mahmud Shah III gave this entire island to his wife, Raja Hamidah, as a wedding gift. Imagine receiving an island as a dowry. Because it was royal resident, it became center of the young Department Muda, or the viceroys, leading to golden age of architecture and defense. Okay, move to the next is birth of modern bahasa. For those of you listening in Indonesia or Malaysia, you're speaking the history of the Penyengat Island right now. This island was the source of the standard Malay grammar. Scholars here, like Raja Ali Haji, standardized the language we use today. It was global hub for literature and Islamic parenting, connecting this small island to places as far as Cairo and Mecca. Okay, next is Moral Compass Gurindam 12. If you visit, you will hear about the Gurindam 12. This is a masterpiece of poetry written by Raja Ali Haji in 1847. It's not just art, it's a moral compass. One of the famous lines says that barang siapa mengenal Allah surut dan tegah tiada daya menyala. It taught people how to live with integrity and faith. Okay, move to the next is the power of royal yellow. As you know, look at the slide. You'll notice a lot of yellow. In the Malay culture, yellow is the color of sovereignty and nobility. It wasn't just a design choice. It was symbolized of the Sultan presence. You see it were everywhere on the island, from the mosque and the royal tomb. Okay, move to the next is the Grand Mosque of the Sultan of Riau. This is the crown jewel of the island. Look at those vivid color. Legend has it during the renovation in 1832. The community had so many eggs that they used that egg white as the binding agent for the mortar. They said it wise the walls are strong and the acoustic are so clear today. It truly is a mosque built by the people. Move to the next is military might Bukit Kursi. But it wasn't all about poetry and religion. Penyengat was a fortress atop of the Bukit Kursi. You can still see a rusted iron cannon pointing at the sea. These were used to defend El Sultanate against the Dutch colonial expansion during the 18th century wars. Okay, so the next is the Gonggong ritual. Now we cannot talk about real culture without talking about food. This is Gonggong or Dongkong. It is culinary icon of the region. There is specific ritual to eating it. You use the toothpick to spiral the meat out of the shell and dip it into the spicy pineapple chili sauce. It tastes of the sea and symbolize of share and community. Community. Okay, a quick fact to recap. Penyengat is the national heritage site, a center for Indonesian language, and a place where history lives in every stone and every shell. It a perfect blend of numerating strength and intellectual depth. Okay. So I leave you with the famous Malay saying, bahasa menunjukkan bangsa. Language reflects the nation. By studying Penyengat, we see the true reflection of Malay spirit. Thank you for listening to me.